Hey everyone, it's Later Kieran here, and I'm going to do a video on how I keep my betta fish, or beta, or Siamese fighting fish. Okay, so this is Envy, as you may have seen from another video. He's staring at something. Beta fish or Siamese fighting fish, I'll call them for a video because my pronunciations are good. They come from Asia, I think it's India, Taiwan, and places like that. They are related to gourmets and fish like that, so they actually breathe air. That's why if you keep beta or Siamese fighting fish, you have a good space for them to breathe the air. And they always have to have source of air, otherwise they die. And some of these fighting fish do breathe from the water like normal fish using their gills, but they will also use air to supplement it. They come from warm temperatures, which means they need a heater. Even though I've got a small tank, I've got a mini heater, which you can just about see at the back. It's covered in lime scale, which isn't too good. I have to take that off. And it's good to have a small filter at least. The temperatures they need, I put it on 75 Fahrenheit or 85 Fahrenheit. Which is around, I just have to check my heater with a gauge. That is around, oh my gosh, I can't see. 24, I think. 24 degrees centigrade. From here you can see this is a male Siamese fighting fish, obviously. He has long fins, but you do get short finned ones. They are plaquettes, that's how I say it, and they sometimes get mistaken for females, but they're not. They tend to be, they look like males, just like maybe the fins are cut off or something. They're just short finned. All males will have the aggressive, most males have the aggressive behaviour towards other males. That's why they must be kept alone. They come from small little paddy fields or puddles, so small aquariums are good if you actually clean it out a lot. I clean mine out every week. Well, several times a week actually for most tanks. Always keep a male singly. Tank mates, it's best not actually to keep them with females on periods. It depends on the fish. I've once had a fish that can be kept long periods. He was fine. But other fish, they tend to harass the females. It can kill the females or the male will flare too much stress out the male and it'll rip his fins. It could result in death of both. My other fish has had a female in his tank for a short amount of time, and he harassed her so much she was hiding under some rocks. There was a small gap. She wasn't. As for fish, they're in the wild. They'd eat live food, insects. They're carnivores, so it's best not to feed them peas, which some people feed them, or vegetable matter. I feed mine live bloodworm and sometimes dry food, but mine only eat live food, so it'd be expensive. They do best on live food, I think, and it also really helps. Bloodworm's the best, I think, because it's so rich. It really helps them. Other than that, just going down here, this is the food I feed my betta. Mainly this, which is tetra, and it's just for these fish. It's just flakes. and it may look a bit big, but they managed to bite bits off. And that's shrimp and krill, which isn't, unfortunately it's not bloodworm. Dried bloodworm I need to get some more, but I used to feed them that. Actually, in the tanks of Siamese fighting fish, they like it to be planted. So a lot of plants actually are nice for them, or loads of hiding places, because they come from places with loads of plants, like paddy fields. They've got loads of rice, of course, because it's for rice growing and production. In the wild, I'm not quite sure what they'd inhabit the waters with them, but I've got ottos in mine, as you can see here. That these only tank mates I've got at the moment. I have a shrimp somewhere. Well, some fish you can't really keep with Siamese feathers. I don't recommend many small tetras. It depends on the Siamese fighting fish, of course, and the tetras, but sometimes they fin nip and stuff. I have seen some cases with neon tetras fin nipping right to the basically base of the fish. Another one is pufferfish. They are awful for fin nipping. They will nip the fish to death practically. To the dwarf puffers you see sometimes. I've seen them pets at home, and that's it really. Large fish, Oscars and large cichlids will just eat them obviously, so very large fish. Guppies, it actually depends on the Siamese fighting fish. Some will kill them because they look a bit like Siamese fighters. It depends on the fish, of course. As I said, females aren't too good with them. It really depends on the fish itself because they've each got their own personality. This one, he's rather inquisitive, so he's not too good with like frail fish. The ottos are fine, but he can get a bit inquisitive with them and chase them a bit. But they're okay with it, it seems. He's stopped now. Shrimps, I think they eat small shrimps, because I used to have loads of small shrimps and they've all gone. And that was with a previous fish in this tank. I'm going to go on to classify. There's big problems with short-finned males, which are placats, and calling them females in stores. I've seen it's actually Pets at Home if you live in the UK. They have been labelled as females, and people buy them new and young people in the hobby with Siamese fighting fish buy them, and they will fight because they're both males. I had that case once. I got them out in time, luckily, and that was a long time ago when I first was learning about Siamese fighting fish. For tanks, lighting's not too important. I've heard they do like floating plants, because floating plants like give a little bit of shade, and I've heard it helps them breed too. I've got Amazon sword plants in mine, and these, which are new variety of plant to UK. I think that's a year ago, but still. For tank size, I'll go the smallest 1.5 gallons if you clean it out every other day probably, and have a really strong filter. Even though it'll stress the fish, the more you clean out the better. And try and get, I think the best tank I've had for them is this tank, and this is just a 15 litre. And the one next to it, which I've got covered at the moment for reasons that I have 2 males in there just for the moment, and they're separated by one of these, but I don't want them flaring at each other, so I put that over there till one of their tanks has been sorted out, which is but in a few hours. It just had a quick problem I had to sort out. But that is 28 litres, and I think it's in a way a bit big because I don't want to be tempted to get too many tank mates, which I'm a bit tempted to get. I'm getting coolie loach, and they should be fine with Siamese fighters, just to clean up the bottom a bit more. I've had not coolie loach. Corries should be fine. I think most types of corries should be fine with Siamese fighting fish. I've seen platies are good. Most fish are good. A lot of people say that with Siamese fighting fish you need at least 40 litres. Personally, I don't think that's true. I've seen loads of my tanks are all under 40 litres and they're fine with the fish. And they're surviving, they've lasted a long time. And they've all got plants, I can clean them out a lot. And the filter's fine, the heater. As long as you've got everything they need and you clean it out a lot. The other thing is with vases and fish bowls. Vases, it depends on the size. I'd say the smallest, probably like half the size of that for a vase. Probably, so, well, same thing with litres. Make sure the surface area's reasonable because they need to breathe from the top, of course, as I said earlier. Bowls the same because I like biorbs. I just don't like them in all times. I don't really want one, and they're also very expensive. I get the other aquarium over there, that was £15 and this was £50. So I tend to be with someone that gets nano tanks and not barbs, and I may be getting some vases just to keep, like, if they breed, just for a moment to sell the babies. Also with filters, make sure the filter's not too strong. Tackets, sometimes it depends on the fish, but especially very long, if they've got a very long tail, they're going to be dragged by strong filters. And as you can see, this one's quite weak. I've put as you can see, like the pot you get with plants over it, so it just sort of separates current. It's not working too much, but I'm trying my best. My other one, I'm going to sort out that one. And my other tank, that's a bit of a problem too. But I tend to face the outflow towards the wall so it doesn't disturb the tank too much. Luckily none of my filters have too much flow. I've got a bamboo plant here. I'm not sure it's liking light though, but as you can see it goes down. I think it's a bit burnt. It doesn't seem to be liking light. I always think it's going to be fed. A lot of fish, I've heard about Petco and places like that in America that sell them in not boxes, like pots, like that big. A lot of the fish there are like not treated that well and not fed, and that's a big problem. The UK, they have them with fin nipping fish and horrid tank ideas in stores. If you want to get Siamese fighting fish, it's cool to get them in the like superstores in America, as long as you basically, I'll do research before you get the fish. And in the UK, Maidenhead Aquatics is very good. Aquajardin's good. And the Tropicals if you live in the Hampshire area. and there's a few others. I don't really know names because I don't live near them or can't really reach them. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please comment, rate them and subscribe. Bye!